for this big day, and amongst them the top men in the sport in all categories. Initially they competed in the heats for different formulas. Formula A, the no-holds-barred supercars. Formula B, still supercars, but not allowed four-wheel drive or turbos. And Formula C, the up to 1600cc class, and they must be two-wheel drive. Martin Schenker from Norway here at the County Antrim Nuts Corner track for the first time ever, but not his first time in Northern Ireland. Alongside him, Dermot Carnegie, another multiple champion, but usually in the world of auto tests. He's 10-time Houston champion, and he's from Dublin. And then on the second row of the grid, probably the most powerful car of all here today, 540 horsepower there at the right of your screen. That's Jarmo Latamäki from Finland, from Helsinki to be precise. And that is a quite amazing car. More about that later. Then John Maloney, Dennis Biggerstaff, Will Gollop, all in Metros. Will Gollop, the man in the far left of your screen who won the British Rallycross Grand Prix last year, and that's an absolutely tremendous setup. Alongside me is triple Irish Rallycross champion, and he will, Kenny McKinstry, and he will be giving us comments as we go. We're ready to go any second now. The horsepower is about to be unleashed into turn one. It's quite amazing. You're looking at least 3,000 horsepower there. A little bit of creeping from the Lancia, but Schenker has made it no problem at all. And already we have fun. The Lancia has been in the wars. He's had a spin up at the top end. That's going to ruin his chances. And he was involved with Dennis Biggerstaff there. Will Gollop has come from the back row up into second position. And this is a tremendous challenge.
This is actually onto one of the fastest pieces of the circuit. And if anywhere it should be Will Gollop, who has the advantage down at the bottom side of the track, suiting the Metro.
So Gollop really challenging and getting out of turn 5 very quickly indeed. This time they go around the chicane bit and he's through into the lead, and that's sensational. And it really is all to do about usable power, Kenny.
Yeah, well I think, just as I had said before, down at the bottom end of the track is where Gollop took his advantage, where the Metro is a very nimble car, and it has seemed to work for him at the moment.
And you can see Schenker's problems. In third place, we still have number 6, that's John Maloney from Limerick. And in fourth place, Dermot Carnegie. And sadly, the Lancia has retired. Biggerstaff is still going at the very tail of the field, but with quite a bit of damage on the back of his previously pristine Metro. But this is very significant. That Gollop can actually beat Schenker in the first heat is very significant for the whole day.
Yeah, I think Will Gollop will be really trying to get a decent time now that he is in front. And times are really what this is all about, for to get your grid positions.
And we think that Schenker is actually misfiring. We'll listen closely. There he is, number 1. They're going on to the last lap now. And there's a slight fluffing out of the RS200. Quite a bit of damage in the back of Maloney's car. But there's Will Gollop, number 3 in the Circuline car. He's been in absolutely superb form in both European and British Championship rounds. And look at Maloney's car. It's mainly cosmetic, I think, though.
Yeah, I think on the tighter piece of the circuit, you can actually see the Metros working much better. Out over the bumps and onto the loose, they're very good.
So down he comes through the S's for the last time. Out onto the far. Maloney is stranded at the far side of the course. Schenker's going to be second, but it's going to be an excellent time for Will Gollop, and indeed a time that could well be the target for the heats. Well, the fastest 5 cars of the supercars here today have already gone into the A final. These are the next 6, and that's in the BA final. And these are really the supercars. You're looking down here at number 6, John Maloney in the Metros, and it's a very heavy Metro lineup. Mick Moyes from England, and they're absolutely neck and neck, but the Irishman gets it first into the corner. Mick Moyes is just in behind him. Then I think it's Dermot Carnegie next up. Eamon Matheson should be there somewhere in the big Sierra. But in fact, sadly, he's a non-starter in this one. So it's an all-Metro B1. And alongside me, Kenny McKinstry, who would only just love to be out there.
Yeah, for sure. I think John Maloney there, out of the Irish lads, should be the man who can do the business today. He certainly got the car at about 420 horsepower, so I think we'll all be rooting for John. It's a pity Eamon didn't get starting this race, because a lot of people would like to see Eamon doing very well here.
So John Maloney doing a magnificent job at the moment. He's the man who won the Mobil 1 Mondello Championship this year, and he really has come to grips with his car very well. He hasn't had it very long, but he's absolutely created quite a gap between him and the following opposition, still being led by Vic Boyce. But there's Maloney, all the way from Limerick, a man who did all his early competition years on grass tracks. There's Boyce, Vic Boyce in second place. And look at this battle here, tremendous stuff. Carnegie on the left.
Yeah, and Dennis Bickerstaff there, I think they were having a battle together. It looks like Carnegie has managed to get the edge on that manoeuvre. No doubt Dennis will probably try again.
Ray Greenbank also in there in amongst this terrific battle. So in fact, it's number 5 there, Dermot Carnegie in 3rd place. It's Greenbank in 4th place, and Bickerstaff it is who's battling with him. An all Metro BB5. 2 laps to go, or just a little less than 2 laps to go now, and if anything they're closing in on Maloney, or they were before. Vic Boyce went off in a huge way. He's lost his place to Carnegie. He could lose another place. So it's Ireland 1-2 at the moment, and this is great news for the local fans.
Yeah, they're doing very well. If we can get the other boys up there.
John Maloney, another ex-hot rod man. And really that seems to be a discipline that suits this sort of thing very well. Dermot Carnegie there, number 5, no less than 10 times Irish Houston Auto Test champion. And these veterans set up to really drive with the tail out, almost like a rear-wheel drive motor car. There's Boyce, who's rather blotted his copybook somewhat. He's been chased by the other English Metro, Ray Greenbank, and the back Bickerstaff. But we have to say that Bickerstaff doesn't have the power of the others. The checkered flag is waiting them. They're coming up to the top of the track for the last time. It's going to be a glorious win and a place in the A final for John Maloney. And all that travel, and indeed quite a bit of pain, because he's got a very sore ankle. I imagine he's not thinking of it now, Kenny. The checkered flag cures a lot of ills.
Yeah, well, I would say his ankle is the least of his worries. Up until the checkered flag, he'll maybe do a bit of hobbling about in the pits later on, but certainly he'll be very, very pleased with himself to get himself into the A final.
So these are the B runners in Formula B, and tremendous lineup it is too, because on pole position we've Tony Proctor in the very powerful 460 brake horsepower Sierra. Alongside him Roger Matthews. Then we have Ivan Mokes, Martin Elliott from Antrim, Peter Shannon, local man, and Tommy Graham through from the C final. And it's Proctor putting all that power down on the road as he goes up the hill. A little bit of sorting out going on behind him. It looks like Matthews has slipped through into 2nd place. And then I think it's Mokes in 3rd place, so it looks like the visitors are 1, 2, 3 at this moment. Down they come, sorting themselves out. Only two-wheel drive allowed, and no turbochargers in these cars, but the engine in that Sierra is quite amazing. It is an old Formula Formula 5000, a 3.4 litre Ford engine car, and that should be enough to keep them ahead, but it's a lot to control, Kenny McKinstry.
Yeah, well, you can see off the start line there that with 450 horsepower or whatever, it certainly had the advantage off the line, which was very important, probably 200 horsepower more than the Escort. So he has used it to an advantage, but as you can see now, the Escort is all over the top of him, where the big horsepower doesn't really matter.
So Roger Matthews, he's from Hereford, he's really pressing hard at the moment. Ivan Mokes is not that far behind, he's in a 2.1 litre Escort also. Then we have the Irish contingent. We must remember the 4th place man there, number 18, Martin Elliott from Antrim. He's a real man to look out for in the future. And then coming up at the back, Peter Shannon in the maroon car there, a taxi driver from Larne. And I'm sure he's got the meter running over time at the moment. But Proctor still leads.
Yeah, if you take into account that the like of Peter Shannon there, he's running with a 2000cc, basically a Pinto engine, which is 8 valve rather than 16 valve, so he's very much underpowered.
Well, it seems that this Sierra is a real sort of pointed squirt machine at the moment. He darts away in the straights and then rather holds up a traffic jam around the corners, and he's been overtaken by Roger Matthews, or has he? No, he's lost it all, and it's absolute mayhem behind.
Yeah, well, Roger, he just took a dive in there to see if he could. It's a very difficult circuit to pass on, so I mean you have to take every advantage or every small gap that you see and go for that hole. Very, very difficult to pass, but the guy in the escort certainly is making every effort to do so.
The minute he comes to the twiddly bits, he's crawling all over the Sierra. Tony Proctor, a farmer from Deerfield. He has visited this part of the world before. He came to Boyd's Quarry when he had that engine in at the 3. But you can see the advantage he has in the straight line. He's really making it very difficult for Roger Matthews and Ivan Mokes, who are chasing at the moment. They're on the last lap. Now can Proctor make this Sierra about as wide as a block of flats? That's what he needs to do at the moment.
Well, I think he's doing a very good job of making it wide, but again, if he makes that very important slip, if he makes it, Roger's going to be right up in there.
Roger's last chance just about coming up when he comes up the hill here.
Yeah, well, he is there, and he has another corner down in a small, tight, loose section. But he's...
And Mokes trying to sneak through on the inside there. Don't think he's going to do it. It looks like Tony Proctor coming out on the last corner down towards the checkered flag. All that horsepower down on the road. He takes it. Matthews is second, Mokes is third, and Martin Elliott fourth. So this is the B runners in Formula C, and it's lovely to see a Mini on the front row of the grid there. Number 64, Norman Jess. Alongside him, Mike Dresser in 888. That's the little Nova, the GM Nova, and it makes the better start of the two. And we've got quite a bit of Irish interest in here too, because number 61, William Vickers in there, sadly last at the moment, but he's plenty of time to change that, and already we've had a casualty. I think it's John Turner from Swanley in Kent. Or was it Ross Perkins, the man who came through from the C final? No, he's lying in fourth place. But there's our leader, no doubt about that. Mike Dresser from Carlisle in his very effective little Nova, the car that was driven by Russ Smith in the past, who's now gone into Formula Ford. And there's our C final man who's doing well there in fourth place. So Mike Dresser leads. Front-wheel drive.
Yeah, totally different ball game, these front-wheel drive cars. I have only driven one once, and it's a lot of hard work, the Minis especially.
A great battle going on just behind him, because sensationally Willie McVicker has just got up into second place in the Samba. Willie McVicker, a very experienced both car preparation man, rally man, racing man, and there he is having a glorious day in this little car, just having slipped past Norman Jess from Dromore in his 1.5 Mini. So the 1.3 Samba certainly getting the traction down here at that corner very effectively indeed.
I think Mike Dresser there now has it all tied up if he keeps it neat and tidy. Another couple of laps. He's gone on to the tighter part of the circuit there at the moment, and the car seems to handle well over bumps and whatever. It does, I would think, probably have a far advantage on the other two cars, especially the Mini.
And of course what he really is intent on doing with 2 laps to go is to earn himself a position in the A final for Formula C cars. But look at this battle for second place. This is classic stuff. Norman Jess trying very hard to get back past that Samba, which is giving quite a bit of CC away to him. But a newer design, I suppose, and possibly a little bit more effective in getting that car down on the road. We're having another little battle behind that again between Ross Perkins and John Turner. But Willie McVicker really holding off that car at the moment. Here's Perkins coming up, and there's the leader.
Willie McVicker there seems to be making a good job. I think he's spun off at the moment, actually.
He's gone. Oh, how sad. McVicker is almost certain second place is gone. The leader's on his last lap. So poor Willie will go back to Belfast tonight, a little bit with his tail between his legs, but after an excellent day's sport. No doubt about it now, Norman Jess up into second place, but it certainly looks as if the man is going to get into the A final for Formula C is Mike Dresser from Carlisle.
Yeah, whenever you're being pushed that tight, and Norman Jess was certainly pushing Willie to the limits. One slight mistake at all, and it's gone, as you can see.
And would you believe this man runs an old folks home? He's rather far from that sort of action at the moment as he comes down to take the checkered flag here at Nuts Corner and a certain place in the A final of his category. And really the temperature is rising here at Nuts Corner, literally, because this is undoubtedly one of the big moments. This is the A final of category, pole position, the great Will Gollop, alongside him Steve Palmer, John Welsh, Michael Shields, John Maloney, Aidan Cregan, 5 metros and 1 Vauxhall, and our camera is in the Vauxhall, which is just sneaking up into third place at the moment. But it looks like Gollop on the inside, and I think John Welsh might get through there as well. There's not a lot of room. And Welsh has been punted off. So Welsh has dropped the place down behind Michael Shields, but it's Will Gollop who leads. In second place, Steve Palmer, then Michael Shields, then John Welsh, and then the 2 Irishmen in this one. They are John Maloney, who got through from his final, and Aidan Cregan.
Yeah, I think Will Gollop is very pleased with himself making such a brilliant start. He's got a decent lead there from Palmer at the moment, so John Maloney in third will go wanting to sort of keep that, get a good time for to get into the super final.
Of course, this is for the RAC British Championship, and you can see that John Welsh has a problem with the bonnet lifting there and the Vauxhall back in fourth place at the moment. There's the second place man, Steve Palmer, winner in Belgium just last week. And there's Michael Shields, who actually leads the championship, and there is Welsh's problem.
Actually, once he gets onto the faster pieces of the circuit, he'll find it very difficult to actually see out of the window.
Well, at the moment, this is an absolute gift for the great Will Gollop from Winstable. Former winner, of course, of Boyd's Corner here, but since then, he's gone on to much greater things. And absolutely thrilled the huge crowd at Brands Hatch last winter when he won the British Rallycross Grand Prix in his Circling Piper-sponsored car. 2 laps to go. And there's Welsh's problem. He's got no vision virtually on that side of the car, and he's got the very talented Michael Shields just ahead of him, the 23-year-old man who up to this moment led the British Championship. Palmer still in second place. There's Shields, there's Welsh, and now 2 Irish contestants in this big company, John Maloney and Aidan Cregan, now being left a little bit in the Nuts Corner dust.
Yeah. I would say probably the horsepower is counting here at the moment. Will Gollop certainly has the most powerful car, and he certainly takes every bit of use out of it. You'll get the lesser powered car sort of dragging their heels a bit here.
Raced Sabs for many years, Rallycross Sabs I should say, and then developed the Metro, the man who really led the interest of Metros into Rallycross. And of course these cars are not turbocharged, they are 4-wheel drive, but they're very, very usable car. About 435 brake horsepower there in the Circling car. Behind him in the Patricia Computer's car, Steve Palmer, and you can see now how close John Welsh is there for third place, but it's going to be Gollop. The flag's waiting for him. He's going to undoubtedly go into the super final. He's won the big one, the first big one today. Second place Palmer, third place Shield, and fourth place, and how that bonnet stayed on, I will never know, for John Welsh. And then Maloney brings the Irish Brigade home ahead of Aidan Cregan. So this is the A final for Formula B, and a very interesting situation indeed. Kenny McKinstry alongside me. We've got one of the most powerful cars at the back of the grid there, and could cause problems.
Yeah, well, Tony Proctor, I'll say, is going to cause problems for the guys in front. This car's very quick, and Tony Barty who is probably the quickest on the circuit, is not very good off, or his car is not very good off the start line, so this is very important.
Barty then in the front-wheel drive car on the left rear screen alongside him, Brian Betteridge. Betteridge makes the better start. Is that Barry Squibb, who leads the championship in this category, trying to get through in second place. And there's Proctor coming up as we predicted. There's not a lot of room for him at the moment, but Barty is not leading, and this is going to be a big problem for him. It's not an easy place to get past here at that corner.
No, it's very important to get into the corner first, and he's now in second position, so he's going to have to look for a way past. I think he may be able to do it. If Tony Proctor had got up through, it may have been a different story.
So Brian Betteridge will be on the butcher. He's a butcher, will be only too well aware of this extremely fast and very talented 31-year-old behind him, Tony Barty from Richmond. He's looking, he's juking in and out of the slipstream. He's trying to find a little place. He's got to defend his rear also, because Barry Squibb is there, the hotelier from Torquay, a very experienced man as well. And this is good stuff indeed.
Yeah, sure is. Tony Barty is a very professional driver, as he said, and I think once, if the expert makes a slip in front, Tony will certainly be in there.
This is the man, of course, Kenny, who ran you so close
yeah,
in that championship party.
He's doing it now. He almost did.
He must have stopped to listen to you, because you seemed to back off there for a second. So Brian Betteridge, under the most enormous pressure from the front-wheel drive, very interesting, 16-valve Vauxhall there, Astra, and he's up alongside again. He might have it this time.
Yeah, he's got the inside line, so the next corner's a right-hand corner, and he has done it. Being on the right, on the inside of the track.
He really withheld a big nudge there.
Well, he certainly did, but I mean, it's who is the bravest wins, and certainly Tony Barty is a very brave driver.
Like Del Boy, who dares win. So there he goes. Tony Barty then. I don't think we're going to see much more of him. He's going to disappear into the night. There he goes, but the battle with 2 laps to go is all now down behind him. Brian Betteridge with Barry Squibb now to contend with behind him. And don't forget our own Jimmy Stewart's in there also. There's Barty. And there's Betteridge, there's Squibb, there's Proctor, and that's Smith, and there's Stewart.
Yeah, it's a very interesting race. You see Tony Proctor, and he has been trying to get up through the field, but he's having a problem doing it. Once Tony gets in front, it's very, very difficult to get past him, but he's still trying anyway.
Once Brian Betteridge has been able to relax a little bit there in second place, he's having no difficulty pulling away from Squibb. They're on their last lap. And Tony Barty is once again going to taste glory here at Dutch Corner. It's a beautifully prepared car, sponsored by DSRM, of course, and beautifully driven. Front-wheel drive, not what you would think would be the ideal combination, but my goodness, does it work here.
Yeah, Tony has probably about 280, 290 horsepower, and the car's about, well, 750 kilos, so all in all it's a very good combination, and put in with a very good driver. I mean, he seems to be able to do the business.
He's about to do the business. The flag's waiting for him. He comes down the hill. Tony Barty is going to be the A winner here for Formula B, and a very well-deserved victory it is indeed after a superb performance all afternoon. Betteridge gets through in second place. Squibb is through in third. But all the glory must go to Barty, who really had to work for that one and get past. And this is for the hottest of the hot hatches. This is the up to 1600, the final in the C category, or the C formula. And quite a bit of aggro sometimes between Peter Runcroft here, number 666, and number 50, John Milner, 2 excellent young drivers. Don Shannon's there, Lawrence Gibson's there, top Irish Hope in the mini there on the left ear screen. But off the line beautifully goes Runcroft, and he's got it. Runcroft ahead, and he had produced some sensational times in practice. We've got a bit of nudging and boring going on there. Gibson is up in the air a little bit, number 42, Don Shannon on the outside, but Runcroft well away from all this aggro as he screams down the back straight for the first time. And look at the lead already that he's got over the Peugeot.
Well, whenever you see Lawrence Gibson in there in third place at the moment, I mean, the 2 cars in front of him are so much quicker, so much more money spent on them. It's unbelievable to see that he's putting it up to the boys, which he certainly is on the tight stuff.
So full marks to our Irishman there in third place. You can see the distinctive shape of the Mini, the red and yellow. But up front, Runcroft, an HGV driver, using heavy tactics at the moment, certainly. A 1.6 single overhead cam engine, and Gibson trying so hard, a little bit too hard that time, going a little bit wide there, but not losing out too badly as he tries to chase the state-of-the-art machinery in Formula C.
Yeah, once you get to a point where you're trying so hard, you make the slightest slip at all, and instead of going quicker, you end up going slower, which is very difficult to get back again.
But John Milner seems to be making a counter-attack here. He's closed up again on the Nova, and the bonnet flapping, but don't be alarmed by that. It's been doing that all day. We see at the back Mike Dresser, who got through from the other finals, and we have a real battle royal now on up front. Tremendous stuff indeed. Two extremely talented drivers. And let me tell you about the pace of these cars. Peter Runcroft was in fact fourth quickest overall in all the categories after the first heats this morning. 2 laps to go.
Yeah, Peter Runcroft is a partner of Tony Barty, so they're painted in the SRM colours. They're two very good drivers and two very good cars.
Well, it'll be a fabulous double for these two here at Notts Corner if they can pull off both a win in the C category and the B category, but it's looking far from certain at the moment as John Milner closes.
Yeah, I think John is just waiting for that small gap to appear, and the minute it appears, I think you'll find that he's right in there.
Richard Longman engine, as they go on to the last lap, Richard Longman engine in the John Milner car. Both, of course, front-wheel drive, and Milner very close down at the bottom end that time. He's really putting every single bit of pressure he can find on the Nova in front of him, but it's going to be difficult to get past. They're miles ahead of any of the opposition. It's still Gibson behind him.
Yeah, I think if you take into the Mini, he just is outpaced by power. There's nothing you can do. The best driver in the world can't make up for horsepower.
How can he get past now, Kenny?
He's leaving a bit laid out unless there's a bit of a mistake happens. I'm afraid there's not.
He's not going to do it. It's going to be Runcroft, and it's going to be a double for the DSRM team. And we're going to have a glorious third place there for Lawrence Gibson, who comes across the line just ahead of Don Shannon. But there's the man, Runcroft, who has been incredibly quick in this little car today. The dry conditions probably suiting him, and he goes home a very happy man indeed to Richmond. Super final time, and it's virtually a repeat of the A final, because this time, however, it's 4 Metros and 1 Vauxhall. We are missing John Maloney, who should have been in amongst that. So it's Collum. In fact, Maloney is there, so we're looking to see what the missing car is. It must be Michael Shield, who had a gear problem. He had missing bottom gear, but there's no difference up front. It's still Will Gollop out front, a repeat performance of last time, but this time our camera car is making a real challenge for second place and trying to usurp Stephen Palmer from that position. So there's John Welsh in the Astra Vauxhall, who's giving us this high-speed ride around the circuit. Behind him it's John Maloney leading the Irish Challenge, and then Aidan Cregan, and just to confirm, the one that we're missing from this was Michael Shield, who has scratched because of a gearbox problem. So pity about Maloney, but there is the Vauxhall, the only non-metro ready to figure here this afternoon. Sadly we lost Schenker earlier on. And you can see the little Aston getting rather sideways in trying to be in pursuit of Will Gollop, the Whitstable man there, who has absolutely covered himself in glory in recent years. He went into the European Championship with a vengeance over the last 2 years, and then pulled off the biggest win of his life when he won the British Rallycross Grand Prix, and now is concentrating on Europe this year. This is really just a warm-up event for him, So Stephen Palmer is the man who's going to get the maximum points out of today's efforts in the British Championship. Gollop just putting the inside wheel up over the curb that time. Kenny McKinstry intriguingly watching all this happening.
Yeah, it would be brilliant to be out there mixing in along with those boys, but I think at the end of the day it's a very, very expensive sport to be in, so
it's a little bit closer than it was in the A final, and certainly John Welch belching flames there from the Astra. It's closing a bit on Steve Palmer. When they come down the hill this time, they will have one lap to go, and it's all closed up very dramatically indeed.
Yeah,
Gollop has been caught almost.
Yeah, it looks like Palmer is catching them on the tighter bits of the circuit. Maybe Will Gollop has a problem with his car. Certainly in power it doesn't seem to be, but you can notice they're pushing the nose a lot.
Yes, almost terminal understeer. And as you say, that's where Palmer really catches up, and in a straight line, Gollop's car is very fast indeed. Welch just hanging on then in the hope that something's going to happen to these two, but there's not much time left. In fact, Welch goes up through beautifully into second place. Oh, what a maneuver. And Palmer seemed to have suffered a little bit more than a dent that time.
Yeah, well, that's the way rallycross goes. I mean, everybody waits for that small gap to happen, and John Welch certainly took advantage of that one for sure.
So Gollop takes the second big victory of the day. Welch dramatically getting up into second place there in the super final. A rather wounded Steve Palmer coming home in third, and the fourth finisher will be Aidan Cregan with John Maloney, his Metro rather in tatters, coming home in fifth place. The final of finals, the European Challenge, and really this is the cream of the day's motorsport. Jarmo Latamäki in the amazing S4 Lancia there on pole position, alongside him John Welch with our camera, then Steve Palmer, Aidan Cregan, Will Gollop and Michael Shield in the back. And look at Gollop trying to come up the inside but not getting the gap, and it's Welch leading in the Vauxhall, going a little bit sideways. They're humping all over the place. Still in second place, the incredible Finnish driver Jarmo Latamäki in the utterly incredible S4 Lancia with supercharging and turbocharging, and the Metros absolutely fighting at each other's heels behind.
Yes, it'll be a very interesting race to see if Gollop can come from the back of the grid. He's really nipped two boys off, so it'll be very interesting to see if he can actually get up in front again, because he's the fastest man here today.
Well, Gollop now in fourth place. His next problem